Hey, y'all out there in YouTube land. I hope y'all have had an excellent start of your week. So, a lot of people might be wondering what are the next diecasts I'm wanting to buy? Like, what is really next on my list? This will be kind of a long video, kind of, but I'm going to break down for you guys what I really want in terms of stuff for the collection. I know I want more movie cars. I definitely want to get a few more Fast and Furious from the original Fast and Furious. I definitely still want an 18th scale of Paul Walker's Supra. Um, I know I want a few cars from the OG Fast, mainly Dom's RX-7, the S2000 from the second one. There might be a couple more that are on my list. I know I want the Paul Walker Skyline from the second one. So that goes without saying for Too Fast, Too Furious, but the Greenlight Skyline might be a little harder to obtain. But as I go by kind of like genre here, movie cars, I know I'm still after an American Graffiti 1/18th scale coupe. I do know I'm after a Knight Rider, although I wish Auto World would finally release a Knight Rider because it is just such an expensive casting by Joyride, the OG one. But I know I'm still after an 18th scale Knight Rider by Joyride. I know that I'm after Grease Lightning, so there's that. I know I'm after a Speed Racer Mach 5. So that would mainly fill out the shelf. I'm still after the Stephen King The Car from the movie The Car. So that's kind of a rundown of really what I'm looking for in terms of film and TV. I'm sure there's more. Like I do want a Bandit Trans Am, but I'd almost be willing just to get the Maisto version because the original American Muscle is so prone to paint rashes that the only other option is to get a resin green light in terms of the Bandit car. The original car is just so, like I said, prone to like issues that you almost don't want to touch that casting with a 10-foot pole by now. In terms of hot rods, ooh, too numerous to list. I'm still after a few 124th. I know in the movie room, I'm really not looking for a whole lot more 24th scale because the movie room is obviously mostly 18th and 143rd and a few 164th here and there. I have a few 24th scale, but the living room is mainly for me reserved for 143rd, 164th, and some 118th, and I think I have a few 24th scrambled in or sprinkled in here, but in terms of hot rods, I'm looking for a lot of 24th scale stuff because there's just so many interesting 24th scale, just quirky and odd stuff. I might be after a few more car quests, mainly the Chevy Nomad and possibly the Chevy Street Machine. I don't know if I'm going to get the 40s Ford. I know a lot of companies do a 1940 Ford Coupe, but I know I'm after some more Danbury mints in terms of Danbury mint, like the Dream Truck is one that I'm after to go by the a la carte that I have. I'm after the Hirahata Mercury. I'm still after the Boyd Coddington Eldo Rod. I know that's one that I'm really after is the Eldo Rod. What I need to do is I really need to write a list down of stuff that I'm still looking for. And of course, you guys know my watch list just grows and grows every day when I find stuff on eBay. Um, I have all the choppers that I want. I'm really not in the mood to buy any more bikes, period. I have every single chopper I really could want, so I'm not after any more bikes. Um, so I definitely know I'm after more 24 scale in terms of hot rods. I'm after more 18th scale in terms of Hot Wheels 1/18th. I definitely am after some more Acme Street Fighters like Redline, the six pack attack. Um, I know I'm definitely after some more Chevys. I'm after that Dodge Dart Swinger, that Bullseye Acme they have out. I'd like to get G-Force at some point. I'd like to get one of their C10 castings, possibly. I know the LS10 is kind of expensive now, but I definitely want to have some Fords in terms of a portfolio of some more GMPs or Acmes. I know I want some more Street Fighters. So hopefully, I don't know, if we got a stimulus check this year, if we really were to get a stimulus, I'd be very thankful. But I doubt it's really going to happen. But given the new Trump administration, that might be a possibility, since during his administration there were a decent amount of stimulus, a very good amount of stimulus. I shouldn't say decent, there was a very good amount of stimulus written out. So we'll see if that bodes into 2025. So what am I after still? Definitely some more Danbury Mints. I want the 1940 Hot Rod by Danbury Mint. I'm after really more of the inexpensive ones. I mean, the dream of mine would be to get Kookie's car from Sunset Strip, or the Beach Boys little Deuce Coupe, but whether or not I find a good price on those, that's really another thing. That's more of an if I were to find a price, and including the Knight Rider, that's another hard one to say if I'd ever find a price I'm willing to pay on Knight Rider. But Kookie's car and then the whole little Deuce Coupe from Beach Boys, that would be a dream of mine to own, period. But I mean, I know I want some more Hot Wheels Legends. I'm after the 1934 Ford by Hot Wheels Legends. That's another piece that I'm looking for. Since I have twin mill and I know I need the 1940 Ford, there's more 100% I'm looking for. I can't really give a list of 100% that I still don't have in terms of sets that I need. I know I need the Clay Smith Cams one. I have both sets of lead sleds. There might be a few more hot rod ones I'm looking for. I know I'm after the SoCal and the Moon Eyes set. So there are a few in terms of 100% I'm still looking for. I definitely need to get my hot rod Johnny Lightnings, the vintage Playing Mantis era up. I need to get those numbers up of vintage Playing Mantis Johnny Lightnings from the hot rod era. So yeah, I'll definitely say there's a literal need to get those numbers up on the whole dealio with that. Sorry, I just switched my phone to silent in case I was getting notifications, but I definitely might have to be switching up for more 24 scale. I definitely know I'm after some Midnight Club style stuff, like my friend calls them Germain cars, where people are wondering what I mean by Germain cars. I'm talking about like the Manny Fresh type stuff. Like I own like 3 Hummers and an Escalade and also 2 Lamborghinis and a muscle car type deal, like big timer type stuff. So yeah, I am after a couple of those. Lowriders, after I build the shelves in there. Definitely a few Maisto 1/24th lowriders. I don't know, but 24 scale lowriders, even though I'm not a big Maisto collector, I'm definitely planning on getting one of the rock rigs. I'd like to get a few One Bad Rides, just to kind of like go back to that 2000s styling type deal, since I like that aesthetic, obviously. So I know some people are like, God, you're stuck. Yeah, a little bit. And more muscle machines, of course, more of the Jesse James stuff, bikes, maybe type deal, that kind of type thing. More stuff that I'm after. And then that would mostly fill out the rest of the hot rod room. I'm not going to really get as into detail about it, but I know there's a few more I'm after. I don't want to spoil the surprises of haul videos, but you guys know as well as anything that most of my channel, you can always expect the unexpected when it comes to doing haul vids. like I said, more CarQuest stuff, probably more 24th. I mean, Ertl, in terms of the Posies cars, I have all three of those. You've seen the review. Hopefully, I'll be doing more diecast reviews. I have a few I've been itching to pull out. It just takes a lot of motivation for me to want to do that. But I'm trying to make a few videos at least this week to get my watch hour numbers up. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of that in terms of hot rods that I do want or styled from like that era. So a lot of people might also be wondering what's in store for the racing room. Well, after I build that other set of shelving units for the other side of the bed, because I have a big piece of plywood I need to cut or get cut out back. So what's going to be next for that? Probably more drag racing stuff once I build that other set on the other side of the bed. Definitely some more drag racing style stuff. I know I want two gassers on one shelf. I want Big John Masmanian's car in 18th scale. And I also want to get the 18th scale Stonewoods and Cook gasser. I know I want the Hearst Harry Olds on another shelf and the Hemi under glass. Both of those Hearst cars I really want. Absolutely need those. I know I want a Ram Chargers Dodge altered wheelbase. Dodge's Ram Chargers. That's another one I'm looking for. I know I want another altered wheelbase, but it's going to have to be something like very interesting for me to want to get it. I could use a Grumpy's Camaro, like a Grumpy. I have the Grumpy Nova. I could definitely use an 18th scale Grumpy's Camaro. In terms of that, I don't know, the 18th scale shelf, there's a lot of subject matter there, so that could be open for whatever, since I already have Malcolm Durham's Strip Blazer and then the Grumpy's Nova, the red and white one. So, again, that I'm not really exactly 100% sure on, but I do know that there are definitely some more 18th. I know I want to get a couple funny cars for that shelf, the Hawaiian and then the Hawaiian, and I know I want the Arnie Beswick GTO, flip top funny cars, floppers as they call them. So I want a couple funny cars for that shelf. I know I want a couple gassers, um, both the Hearst Olds cars, and then I know I want the two of the altered wheelbase and possibly a Grumpy's Camaro or that, and maybe Grumpy's Camaro and Dino Don Nicholson's Mustang, and that would complete the 5 shelves on the one side of my bed. So those are the 5 I'd probably be after. Probably get the cheapest ones first, and then fill everything else out. Or I know Acme is coming out with the new Dodge altered wheelbase that's more accurate, but I would get the Highway 61. Um, I'd like to get Butch Baker's Black Widow 55 Chevy by Highway 61. I would like to get the Black Widow stock car. I know one in particular I have on my list that might be coming up in the haul video is a 118th, the 1970 Roadrunner of Richard Petty's. I'm still after Petty stuff. Definitely he's getting up there in age, so by the time, no one lives forever, so by the time he's gone, I definitely plan on owning some more Petty memorabilia. Maybe some 24 scale. I know some company did a Belvedere. I know there's a 55 Oldsmobile. I think it was Lee Petty or Richard Petty drove a 55 Oldsmobile. So there might be a few 24 scale Pettys I'm after. I know I'm after some more vintage Earnhardt. Like I'm after the Pontiac Ventura. I'm after a few like the Wrangler Jeans era of his NASCAR career. Not just the mid 2000s stuff, which I have a lot of 18th of. So I'm definitely after some more vintage Earnhardt and vintage Richard Petty stuff in terms of racing. In terms of more 24 scale, I'm definitely after more of the Japan GT Championships muscle machines. I already have the Acura NSX, the Takata one. That has never come up for review yet, but I feel like it should because no one's ever reviewed the 24 scale Japan GT muscle machines, and I think those should get a review video once I complete all the ones I want to get by them. So, muscle machines definitely after the Japan GT cars, and hopefully 164th. That depends on what kind of deal I can find on the 64 scale. I'm gonna have to get really lucky on those because they're pretty hard to obtain nowadays on eBay and stuff. So I need the 164th, and I also need the 24 scale. Um, I'm definitely after a couple more drag bikes. I'm after Dave Schultz's drag bike, the Sunoco one, and then I'm after the Antron Brown one. Um, in terms of dragsters, I don't know. My dragster career collecting dragsters is pretty complete. I do know I want the Hot Wheels Legends 124 scale Snake. So that's another one that I'm after. Will I be after a few more funny cars or drag cars? That might be. And then I also plan on building a shelf in between my closet and the one shelf by my window. I plan on building a shelf there or getting one off Amazon, and actually that's going to be dedicated to a lot of racing stuff. I might get some Auto Art Japan GT cars, possibly some Le Mans type stuff. I know I want some of the GT racing by Maisto. So I know I want some of the GT racing stuff by them. So definitely that, and I'd like to get a few resin top speeds like the Koenigsegg's. I'd like to get a Mercedes CLK GTR by Top Speed. So a friend of mine is really encouraging me to buy some more resin stuff. So in the future, I'm considering resin. You know, I haven't thought about resin for a while, and I've always thought resin was more for modelers, and I've always thought diecast was more for serious collectors, but I'm getting to a point now where resin might actually be a feasible option. So I'm definitely after some of the Japan GT stuff. In terms of 24 scale, and that might actually round out that one shelf in my bedroom, so I'd love to get more of that. I'd like to get more of the World Rally Championships cars in 18th scale by Hot Wheels, although those tend to run quite a good chunk of change, depending on if I can get the Mitsubishi and the Subaru. I'd still like to get the Ken Block 1/18th scale Subi, or one of the cars that Sunstar had. I missed the fact that they released those. Evidently, diecast models wholesale didn't put them up there, but yeah, the Sunstar, those I'd like to get, definitely one of those by them. And then I know I want some more team transports in terms of miscellaneous stuff. I know I want some more team transports. I know I need more RLC, Redline Club type stuff. Um, I definitely know I'm in need of that for sure. So RLCs, team transports. I'd like to get more mini GTs, poster cars if they release something that interests me, maybe. I know I'm after more tarmac work, so in the future I'll definitely be completing some more orders on diecast models wholesale, and that's a lot of just the main like bulk of everything that I'm still after. I know I'm after more 164 scale mainline Fast and Furious cars, like the $1 ones. Like I still need the original, like first few movies, like Sean Zevo. Like I need Sean Zevo and stuff like that. Like I need like the RX8. I think that was Mia's RX8 that I'm looking for, and there's a lot of other stuff that I could go off and name here, but I'm just kind of going off the hip here with what I'm still looking for. In terms of Lego sets, once I build the shelf, I know I want to get the Ayrton Senna McLaren. Um, I don't know if I'll get the Nigel Mansell one, the Elf Renault. I think it's the Renault one. Don't grill me because I think the Nigel Mansell is one that I want. And I know I want the Ayrton Senna F1. And then I know I need to get the Hot Wheels not the Hot Wheels, but the Lego Camaro. So yeah, there are a few more Lego sets. Speed Champions, I'll be looking this year for sure. Speed Champions definitely a big must every single year they release sets. From what I understand, they're doing a Porsche 911 GT3, so I'll be looking for Speed Champions this year. But I might have to build a garage to house all of them. My gosh, I've really been getting the Speed Champions numbers up. But yeah, love Speed Champions. One of my favorites. One of the goats of Lego. Um, so in terms of next year, when Hallmark rolls around the season of, I'll be probably picking up a few more Hallmark ornaments. So rolling into 25, that's some of my resolutions to get some stuff, but I don't know how much of it's actually going to happen in terms of my list on what I want to buy. Of course, the 18th scale. Like I said, more drag racing, I think definitely. More movie cars. Hot rods. I don't know. I was pretty satisfied with all the 24 scale I found last year, but it depends on what kind of deals. Like, I know I want the Hero Hata Mercury, the Eldo rod, stuff like that, depending on how hard it's going to be to acquire. But like I said, in more petty cars for sure. It depends on what kind of Richard Petty cars I can find for the money. But I know I'm after a 71 Roadrunner, things like that. But I know more Greenlight movie cars I'll be looking for if Greenlight releases any good film and TV stuff. Since they just did T-Bird's T-Bird from The Crow last year and stuff like that. So it depends. Again, my mindset is definitely still on collecting as I go through the year. But movie cars, I'm casually finishing the movie cars off here and there. Um, but I'll probably be getting a few more, like I said. But I don't really know. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that I'm seriously after. Seriously, like, really want to get in terms of my entire watch list on eBay. I'll have to go through tonight, look at everything, look at prices and stuff. And, that's a lot of just breaking down. And I know more Tarmac works, like I said. I know more Mini GT. Obviously, that's a staple of my channel. More Johnny Lightning, obviously. And hopefully more RLC. Like, main lines, I'm just casually finishing off main lines here and there because of my taste in some of the main lines and stuff. But the racks in my hallway, part of them are going to get reserved for Redline Club stuff. So RLC will definitely be something. If Hot Wheels releases more premium movie cars, definitely after those for sure. I still want a Dumb and Dumber Shaggin' Wagon from Hot Wheels, so I know that much. But that's a well-rounded list, I think. But that's everything that I have to say about cars that I'm really after in terms of collectibles. Don't know how many more years it's going to take me, but yeah, that's about everything that I have to break down. And that's when, like, my point becomes, can I really collect anymore after I get the auto lifts and get the rest of the GMPs I want? So that's literally everything that I really have to go through. All right, guys, the cat's scratching, and hey. So, all right, guys, see you later. I'm out. Bye bye.